Hey everyone, welcome back to Someone's PC. Usually I say it's been a while, because it has been a while, but we're here to bring you some Nats preparation information and the big fiasco of everyone trying to ride Darkrai Giratina Garbodor after Origins 2016. So, today we have the usual Someone's PC crew with Krista Porco and Marc Albright. Returning from his year-long hiatus is Dylan Bryan, who just got his invite this weekend off of winning an LC, a 10-man LC. So congratulations,
very
Dylan.
strong
That's awesome.
performance.
We were all scared for you. I didn't think we were gonna get there, but you got there. And finally, we have Mike Fouchet. I think this is your third time being on videos with us. Either way, yeah. Fouchet's a beast. He has his invite. He and I were actually brainstorming Darkrai, Giratina, Garbodor a little bit after I wrote my article. And that went all up in flames because of Origins 2016. Thank you, Chris Romansky and Alex Hill and Sean Foisey, you animals, and John DeAlata for being a beast and telling them all the list. So, I guess to get started, we can talk about Origins 2016. Fouché and Dylan weren't there, so I guess you guys can kind of just show back on the scoop. So for us, the Wednesday of last week was when they posted that Origins gives points. And I thought we were going to have a boring weekend and do absolutely nothing. And I actually pulled my back at the gym and pulled a back muscle and I couldn't get out of bed one morning. And so I had to drive up 4 hours after it was like a 12 hour planning period where I was going to drive 4 hours to go meet with you guys in DC. And then from there, we're driving 6.5 hours to Origins. There's no hotel. And then we're just going to drive back right after the tournament. And then hopefully Chris gets his invite with a top 8 at Origins. So, it was an exciting week. I wanted to hold off on playing the Darkrai Giratina Garbodor. Because, we're going to save this for Nationals. And then we're going to go crazy with it. And then round 1, actually, to play against Alex Hill, who was playing the Darkrai Giratina Garbodor. And when we started, he flipped over, I think, Darkrai EX and then benched the Giratina in a Trub. And I about flipped the table. And so then I was just like, don't do this, man. Please don't. And he's like, oh, you know about this deck? I was like, yes, it's broken. I was like, what are you doing?
Cat's out of the bag.
Yeah, so that was pretty fun. There's a lot of good ninja decks there. I ended up making top 4 after a nice scoop by Marc Albright after we played round 3 because I got paired down to you.
Only loss. I just want everyone to know that was my only loss.
Only loss. He tied 2 Greninja like an idiot. But, that matchup's, I guess, I still think the matchup's 50-50. He was playing Metal, with Elixirs.
I went 2-2.
Yeah.
Versus it. 4 rounds of Greninja. Miserable.
The deck's so frustrating to play against.
Yeah.
Chris was on his winning in for top 8 and played against Andrew Wembolt. And I said, Wembolt, can you give Chris the win and get the invite? And he basically looked at us like, I want that trip. And that just went south. Chris was playing a 60-card mirror of my water box list. And he lost to Andrew Wembolt's Night March, Vespi Queen, because you stand absolutely no chance if they play Vespi Queen in that deck. So that must have been a fun, depressing ride for Chris in the final round, and I'm sorry you had to witness that execution at the very end there.
Just any other way would have been nice.
Yeah, and not seeing green would have been nice.
Yeah.
There's a lot of salt there. Oh, it was great. It was so fun because there's a lot of people that are like, I can't go to Nationals, and I'm maxed out on LCs. This is my only chance, and I just need top 16. I think there's 5 people there like that, and only one of them made it through. I think it was Calvin Leroy.
Yeah, he got his off of top 16. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was juicy. Everyone else, I think I saw 2 Pokemoms slaughter dreams and dreams people this weekend. Tears were had. People's faces were red. Corey Scott, who's the head judge there, was looking around, and he was just entertained by all the salt. He felt no remorse. He looked me right in the face and he was just like, "Good, let the hate flow through." And you could tell it's like a Pokemon. She's playing like Mega Sceptile, and her opponent was playing Greninja. The Greninja guy was the one who needed to get in, and I was like, oh, this is just depressing, dude. I wish I was there for the moment if he would have asked her, you know, like I only need top 16 for my invite or something, and she's just like, all right, good luck. Good luck with that. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and touch the grass energy. What else to talk about?
What was the metagame? What was the metagame like there?
A butt ton of Greninja.
Yeah, so much.
A little bit of Night March. It was like Mahone, and like 2 or 3 people there. There was a couple of water box variants that were like splashing Jolteon and trying like little cute stuff. I was the only one to make top 8. I had a pretty much easy run only because Marc scooped to me.
I played against Superior.
Yeah, Chris played against a Superior deck, piloted by
Charles Randall.
Yeah, Charles. It was funny, dude. We actually had like 5 or 6 people come up to me and thank me for someone's PC, and then asked about Dylan and if you're coming to nationals and everything. So that was really fun. I love meeting the fans or just people who, you know, appreciate our work.
I'll be there, guys. Don't worry.
Yeah, we're excited for that. So there's a couple Trev out there. Trev didn't particularly do well. It was just Tarbell.
Yeah.
Running hot. I think the last round he played against Vespi Vileplume and he won the coin flip sitting next to us. And by us I mean I played McClure in the final round. There was we did the math out and we knew if we ID'd, then 2 X11s would miscut, and McClure didn't want that to be us. So we started playing, and I was like, can we just ID? This is ridiculous. My only loss was to Alex, who was undefeated, and then McClure's only loss was to, I think, Foisey, who was also undefeated. So it made no sense. Like, our tiebreakers were juicy. Everyone else probably lost earlier or anything else. So it was pretty standard that we should have ID'd. And so we played out. We were sitting there playing game 1. He hits like Sycamore and plays Max Elixir and then whiffs the Max Elixir and has no energy attachment for the turn. He goes, I think we should ID. And I was like, you're so annoying. And I was like, all right, fine. We'll leave it up to fate. And then I walk around and I see my round 3 and 4 opponents, which was Marc and Bob. And I was rooting them on because if they won, that means I'm automatically in cut. And they both won their matches, which was super, super fun. A little bit of Trev, a little bit of Water Box, a lot of Greninja.
But none of it did well.
No, because of Darkrai, Giratina, Gar. Just backhands in the face.
Also, none of them ran Hard Charm.
Yeah, and there's also a lot of none of them ran Hard Charm from what I noticed. It was like muscle band builds, old school builds. Some had like 2 Octis in it and stuff. I honestly don't even know if Octi is necessary anymore. I feel like it's irrelevant.
I think people are just playing it because of N. Yeah.
N's, bro.
So underwhelming.
Yeah. Top 8, I had to play against Alex Croxton playing a metal deck, which I thought was going to be a super tough matchup.
Megaphone MVP.
Game 1, I was able to punch him, control him for a little bit, and then win the prize race with grenade hammer exchanges back and forth. Game 2, I drew 9 energy and a Seismitoad, and then he donked me, so that was cute. And then game 3, I like completely styled on him with sitting on Megaphone in my hand for 3 turns with 4 supporters, and then just an energy attachment. So that was pretty fun. Top 4, I lost to Tarbell playing Trev, even though I think Waterbox is heavily favored in that matchup, and I just got completely pooped on by Never Drawing Rough Seas. So. McClure's deck, to me, not to insult McClure, there's nothing special in it. So everyone trying to break down the list like, oh, you probably play like this or one of the garbage. Like, it's a very straightforward standard deck. And McClure, he just knows Yveltal like inside and out. You can play it with Garbodor, you can play it with whatever he wants, Dark Patch, blah blah blah. He just knows Dark. So there's like Yveltal EX in it. There's BKT. I don't know his Yveltal baby line. I don't think it really matters all that much. You can increase it if you feel like you're gonna play a lot of Night March. And that's pretty much that. And there's, Garbodor in it. I think most people are playing, like from the list I see popping on my Burbank, people ask me questions. Everyone's running like 8, 9 energy, like Dark. Ridiculous. Yeah, at least 10. 10 to 12 is solid, even if you have 4 DCEs. And then when you play 4 elixirs and you have 10 energy and you miss an elixir, then you can bitch. You know, not when you have 8. No, by no means. So, I guess that kind of clears up Origins and gives the Canadians like a bit of info on what to play up for the upcoming weekend. I guess the next part is to ask, like, what do you guys think about Darkrai Garbodor? We'll start with Dylan, because you've been out for a minute, so just like getting back in and just seeing this pop up. How does it look to you? Does it seem like super standard? It's funny how everyone thought like the Garbodor edition is just so like juicy and crazy out of the ordinary when I just thought it was a simple inclusion just to beat Greninja, and then it's useless against everything else. So
Yeah, I mean, when everybody's playing Greninja and Metal, these like decks that are really ability reliant, if you throw in Garbodor, their deck doesn't work. So a deck that's like all basic and has space for Garbodor makes a lot of sense. And when you have like half the top 8 was playing Garbodor, it makes sense that a lot of the Greninja decks didn't do so well, because if you're not playing a counter to Garbodor and your entire deck relies on abilities, you're just going to get destroyed.
yeah, that's pretty much how it felt.
Yeah. I don't know. It seems like one of like simple, but yet like novel idea, because a lot of people overlooked it.
Yeah, they're sleeping on Garbodor, dude. Not anymore. No longer. Mark or Chris, did you guys play against that build at all?
Yeah, last round.
Yeah, how'd you do against it with Metal?
I mean, I backhanded it, but that was like just like super lucky, because every time he established Garbodor, I literally had Megaphone Lysander in hand. I was just like, Megaphone Lysander, knockout, establish another one, and it just never happened both games. So it was just like stupid. But I feel like in a normal situation, like that would just party on me like really bad.
Yeah, like depending on how quick.
Yeah.
I feel like going first super matters in that matchup.
Yeah.
Like if they turn 2 Garb opposed to your turn 2 Bronzong, and then your Genesect sits at like 3 energy on turn 3. It's so ridiculous. But the Max Elixir build that was popularized in Italian Nationals, it really helps a lot, right? Like,
I was just gonna say Elixir helped, and playing the double AZ really helped, because then I don't really get stuck Genesect active as much, you know. If I can't find the floats, it really helped. I think still like it gives you a fighting chance, but I think it just hits too hard too quick, and I'm not able to hit an Elixir and I lose.
Fouchet, same thing. Like, do you think it's like the real deal still, or do you think like it's? I guess what everyone's gonna be asking is, should I still play it?
Yeah.
Because they love it. You know, like you see the hype and they're like, all right, I'm done with this. Next deck, everyone's gonna counter it. That kind of crap.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm trying to figure out right now, right? Like, I've done so much testing with it already. I probably played 100 games with the deck in the past week or two, and it made so much sense. Giratina beats Night March, Garbodor beats Greninja, Dark beats Trevenant. Those were the big 3. Now, I don't know. Like, fighting gets better. Maybe people won't play as many abilities anymore because of the rise in Garbodor, so then Garbodor gets less effective, and so we see the metagame wheel turning. So I don't know, man.
The rock paper scissors madness.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, have you played with it a bit? I think you have, right?
Yeah, I've played with it for the past few days since we got back, and that deck is broken, even though I missed Elixir 18 times out of 20 today.
That's
I'm running.
That's what you get for playing online. Get the
running 11 Dark Energy. What the? It's like, okay. I was like, I guess I'll just take these L's. It's okay. Invalid testing. But you see the power, because it takes 2 energy to power a Darkrai, and you just sit there behind, like, you just let your Giratina take damage, and you're just like, okay, you knock that out, and I'll just like kill you with all this energy on board.
Yeah.
That's spread.
Game 1 against Alex Hill, he had like turn 2 or turn 1 Darkrai hitting me for like 120. I think he had like DDE, hit double Elixir, and then muscle banded. And then was like Floatstone Retreat 120. I just kind of sat there with my mouth dropped because I had I had like 2 energies on my active side. So I was like, hey, can't touch this shit. And then he did double Elixir DDE. So I was like, oh my god, it hurts. And so like a rough seas, I dropped the Manaphy, and I was like, all right, this thing's like an easy Lysander 2 prizes. This sucks. So, with me, like everyone's gonna be saying, don't you just use Regice, right? Like, don't you just Regice, like combo it?
Or Jolteon.
Yeah, or Jolteon, and they play double Yveltal, or 1 Yveltal in some lists, you know, and then that's pretty much their out. Like they just save a muscle band. Don't be stupid, and then one shot the Regice unless I have to belt it. But I'm asking for like a board state where I didn't drop down like Shaman Manaphy. I was able to retreat into a fully loaded Regice with the Fury belt, and it never got Lysandered up by a Darkrai to Dark Pulse it like instantly for game. So at least Water Box, it doesn't seem like a viable option for it to happen unless I just drew the absolute nuts, and I
Triple
don't.
max like there.
Shut up. I think I actually had that one game. I had that against them game 2, and I just started like punching and grenade hammering them, and that's how I was able to take game 2 away from them. So, the deck is yeah, good.
No, I think that's when Regice or Jolteon is a viable strategy if you can lead with Quaking Punch while you're powering up one of those guys on the bench, because then, I don't know, you disrupt them enough that they have to kind of scramble to do their normal thing, and so they don't have the extra ability to bring up the Regice or Jolteon.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know.
Jolteon definitely seems a lot better against it than Regis does. Like, they don't have a built-in answer to Jolteon right now, unless they start teching it out, so you don't have to worry about the Yveltal or being Lysander at all. It's like if you attack with Jolteon and didn't have to overbench, you'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Russell. Oh, go ahead, man.
No, I was just questioning. Did Alex and them, did they run the Latios as well, or no?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
I loved it too. It's juicy. Remember we talked about this because you and I were testing it. It's just the donk on the Froakies, and then the Night March is just too strong. I mean, if a metal opponent just open a Bronzor and then you donk the Bronzor, that's still a little adorable too.
Rip.
Yeah.
So
I guess my biggest gripe with the Latios is that you have to run muscle bands then instead of fighting Fury Belts.
After seeing, like, I played 2 games with it with multiple muscle bands, and every other game I played was just Fury Belts. But after seeing like muscle band used against me, it's definitely like a better inclusion.
Muscle Band kills Manaphy and stuff.
Yeah, like the numbers they hit off of that were super cute. And then if you get Baby Yveltal with 3 energy, and it can one shot a Regice, and then you maximize the donk potential off your Latios, and then it backs up the Dark Pulse. Why not play muscle bands, right? Like at least 1 or 2. And then once you play against Night March, it feels useless.
Yeah,
besides
right.
on babies, but unless you're playing multiple baby line. So I'm not gonna give anyone out our lists at all, but I'm just telling you like our thoughts. And it's the counts. Everyone hit the Pokemon already. Dark never changes, you know? It's just what counts are you playing? Are you playing the Latios? Are you playing like a 2-1 muscle band split, or are you switching it to like 2 belt and then this? Are you playing 3 Darkrai's or 2? Because it matters. Like, it matters how much you're going to open. Are you playing 3 Shaman? Are you trying to go for a rush? And yeah, stuff like that. I think McClure played Reverse Valley. I'm pretty positive of that. Me and him are pretty close, but I still haven't asked him for the list because it just seems very standard to me.
Same.
Yeah, most people hit the nail on the head with how they're doing their list. I saw the Top Deck did one on their YouTube channel. And a couple of other people did like their Darkrai Giratina builds, but everyone's pretty close. They're all within like 4 to 5 cards. Wambolt's really close. He's within like 3, but it's all about the counts. And the counts are changing now for me at least, because you know the build that they played this weekend. That's like draft 2 of the build. That's not even like the Nats ready. So the deck is certainly real in my eyes, and the counters that beat it were already threats for everything else in the format. You know, like Regice, Jolteon. I know if it was me, if I went to the last weekend, I wasn't even playing the deck. I don't want to see those cards, like Regice, Jolteon at all, because you might play a counter to it, but it's hitting the counter that's pretty annoying. Or you have to play Greninja, and then hopefully they don't have Rough Seas or something like that. It's pretty boring. Let's see. I guess this is the last thing we can talk about. Do you think it'll flood Nationals? As much as everyone's hyping it up online. So I'll start with Dylan.
I mean, I think it's going to see play, but I don't think it's going to get flooded. Like, there's a lot of different viable decks. Like, I know Andrew Wimple wrote his like article on the top like 10 decks for Nationals, and it seems like with so much variety, I don't think it's going to be like half the top 32 of nationals like it was at Origin.
Okay.
Like, I think the reason why it did so well this weekend is because you ran into a bunch of ability decks that didn't really have much of a counter to Garbodor, but now either they're gonna start playing Startling Megaphone, or people are gonna play less ability decks, and I think it'll definitely have a presence, but it'll just kind of have like its fair share, rather than being so dominant. I think the surprise factor and people being unprepared definitely attributed to its like massive success.
So yeah, success. The thing I guess I was pointing at too is people love Darkrai. For some reason, ever since I started playing the game, they love Darkrai.
People love Darkrai and Evolve.
Dark Patch, Evolve.
I don't get it.
They love dark Pokemon, and so for me, like I think they are gonna flood, or they're gonna like covet to it, and they're not gonna be able
But
to
it's
pilot
not
that
going to be like, I don't know, I guess my definition of flood is like 40-50% of like the meta. Like, it's not going to be like that. But I expect to like play, I would definitely expect to play against it 1 or 2 rounds at Nationals. It's not a deck that I don't think is going to show off. It's like a deck that you should be prepared to beat and would be bad to show off to. Like, if you still want to play Greninja, I would definitely try and incorporate like Startling, like multiple copies of Startling Megaphone or something. I mean, you see people playing like 3 Hard Charm or like First Balloon and like their national list, and so I'm sure if people could fit those cards, they could definitely fit in a few copies of Startling Megaphone, even though it sucks that you have to play that instead of like other cards. Like, you're going to probably see Garbodor now, so you should deck for it.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Chris?
I haven't played very much. I might be wrong.
I think there's going to be a lot of hype, man. I think Dylan's very spot on. Like, you're going to play around like 1 or 2, maybe even 3 Darkrai Garbs. It goes along with you saying that people love Dark. And like this deck, as Mike had pointed out earlier, it beats the top 3 decks. It beats Trev, it beats Greninja, it beats Night March. Why wouldn't you want to run it? Now you have to deck for the mirror.
But do you guys think that the Night March players will start playing Maxis now? Or they'll probably just neglect that altogether and start going to like a Jirachi? Like, because most likely if you're if you're sold on playing Night March, you're going to just start adding in Giratina hate and try to fight it that way. So if you had to play Night March, would you play with the Maxis build? Or would you try to go for like a Enhanced Hammer Jirachi kind of control aspect of it? and by everyone that's thinking like, oh, you have Giratina, like it's a slaughter. No, that matchup's still like a solid 50-50, like 60-40 if you open double elixir, good for you kind of thing. It's in no way a wash. So
yeah, I think if they run Xerosic and Enhanced Hammer, which I think Night March list could do, then it's probably slightly unfavorable. We talked a little bit about the Marowak, though. Garbodor kind of messes up Marowak.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing with going that route.
But it's like I had to hit Juice. Apparently, I had like turn 2 Garbodor, float, and then turn 2 Giratina, and then. But then at the same time, you had to hit your Marowak. So yeah. I guess it's kind of going like back and forth. Mark, same thing.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. You guys were talking until Mike mentioned Marowak in the back of my head. I was like, Marowak. I don't know. I kind of like that version, but I think maybe Enhanced Xerosic would be better just because of the whole Garbodor situation now. I mean, and I like the consistency of it a little more than having to rely on hitting Maxis. If you don't hit Maxis, you just lose.
Yeah. I guess the next part is, do you guys think the Darkrai standard build without Giratina is going to be better play for Nationals, or the one with Giratina? Without any testing. I mean, like, obviously this isn't like your guys. Oh, yeah, for sure. This is like, yeah, no. This is just like, your thoughts going into this weekend. Give the Canadian boys something to think about.
It's faster, that's for sure.
Yeah.
The setup?
Yeah.
It's a lot faster than what Garb would be
With
in the other deck.
The Giratina?
Yeah, the Giratina Darkrai without Garbodor, it's obviously faster.
Oh, no, I meant...
We were talking
McClure's.
about without Giratina.
Oh, McClure's?
No
That one?
With the Evolve.
No Giratina?
Yeah, like the BKT version. Do you think that one's better, in your personal opinion? Like without testing it, just your initial thoughts of it. Because you see McClure 1, and I heavily attribute that to the Yveltal EX. Cause
I think it's cute.
When I was looking over the middle of my game, I think Shemansky was powering up a Giratina, and then McClure elixired and Oblivion Wing to a Yveltal EX on the bench, and then tested DCE to it or something, and it was ridiculous.
I mean, it's cute because DC is more, like, you can put it on every Pokemon, and you don't have to, like, have a Dragon Pokemon on board to attach a DDE to, because there's been times where I was testing Darkrai Giratina, and I'd have DDE and like no dragons.
Gotcha. Same thing, Fouché? Like which one do you like more? If you had to play it going into this weekend, would you be like, I'll test it out, like both, but...
I mean, I would definitely... So since I've done a lot of testing with the Giratina version, I'd probably just go with that right now, but I'm going to be testing the non-Giratina version a lot because I think it has a lot... I think it probably is stronger. The only thing that I could see missing a lot is getting like the essentially the plus 40, the 4+ powers from DDE is really, really big. So you kind of have to shift your focus a little bit away from Darkrai. I mean, you still play the at least 2 Darkrai, but like, I don't know, your matchup approaches have to go a little bit differently because you can't have that plus 40 come out of nowhere.
Yeah, the BKT gets you there. Right now.
Yeah.
BKT's broke. All right, Dylan.
I mean, I think that it's like very metagame dependent. Like if you play McClure's version and people start playing like Night March Vespiquen, like Andrew Wembolt did, just running a bunch of little Yveltal second Oblivion Wing is not going to do very much against Vespiquen. But if people are just playing stuff like Night March and people are jumping on the Darkrai Giratina Garbodor train, then I think that playing McClure's version is better. So I really think it's more what decks you expect to face rather than just one version is straight up better than the other.
Okay. Mark?
Yeah, what Dylan just said, if Darkrai Tina Garb gets big, I think that straight Darkrai is a lot better because you can add in, whatever maxis you want to be able to mess with them, and it helps counter it a lot better. Plus, Night March is always going to be a fairly even matchup with that deck, whereas like Giratina Garb, I think you get a little less so there. So it just depends on what decks you're going to see. I don't really know. I haven't been testing because I'm not Nats, so it's just kind of like all my experience is based off of what happened at Origins this weekend, and I haven't been paying attention since then because I'm done till next year.
Yeah, but theoretically, since I'm just gonna keep mentioning Metal because that was what you played this weekend. Like, would you rather play against the McClure list or the Giratina one?
I'd rather play against McClure's list because I feel like straight Dark is like a wash for Metal. Like Genesect just super controls that matchup, especially if like I know me and Greg were talking about you play Muscle Band in it versus the Fighting Fury, so you can hit the 180, 220 on the Darkrai. It's really not that hard of a matchup, but if they establish a Garbodor early, like I said, and don't have the nuts like I had every turn, you're screwed. Like, it's just bad. So I think straight Dark is a super favorable matchup for Metal, in my opinion, though.
Okay. Dang, we've been talking about Dark for like 15 minutes now. We'll go ahead and move on. Hopefully you guys are riding the hype train and got enough of it. I guess the next amount of questions, a lot are people talking about Greninja. And they're like, do you think Greninja's going to drop in popularity? Why is Greninja such a garbage deck? Blah, blah, blah. Counter. So, yeah, Greninja, how do you guys feel about it? I know Dylan pretty much said his piece. So I'm like, what is that?
Yeah.
He's like, just add megaphones.
I mean, I'm not saying add megaphones and everything will be okay, but add megaphones and it's still a viable deck. It's not bad.
Okay. I don't like it anymore. I was hoping nothing crazy happened at Origins or Canadian Nationals, and then we go to U.S. Nationals, and everyone's still riding that. Didn't Wemmo put it number 1 in his list, Greninja?
Yeah.
Yeah. And everyone's like, "Yo, Greninja's best deck in format." I was like, "Yeah, baby, do your thing. It's crazy." And just pop up with Garbodor and stomp. But yeah, Garbodor controls that deck a lot. I'm scared of playing Greninja at all in a major tournament because you mulligan so much. If I'm mulliganing and if I'm playing Evolution Line, there better be a Flygon and Dusknoir in it, or else I'm not gonna sit here and witness driving Frogadiers. I think one of Chris's opponents, round 4, evolved to a Frogadier, attached a water to it, played Sycamore, drew his 7, and then passed because he prized one of his Frogadiers, and then drew the 2 off the Sycamore. Do you remember that turn?
I do remember that turn.
He was just like, pass? And I was like, dang, he didn't even go for it. He didn't even announce it.
He just played Sacred Ash, too. I was like, damn. No, they were in the deck. I think he drew them. And I was like, it's like good for me.
Yeah, fuck day. Like, in my mind, I'm like, that's what you get for playing that deck. Froggy bastard.
I don't get it, man. You can kill like 2 or 3 Greninjas, and then there's 2 or 3 more on the bench. It's like, what happened?
Yeah.
I could have sworn I killed these already.
The never-ending assault. All right. So everyone's Fouchet, same thing. Everyone's general opinion is just like Greninja's gonna play Megaphone.
If you're
So,
running, Go ahead.
I don't know, because like the less talked about story from this weekend is that Pablo just won Mexican nationals with Greninja.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, it's got to be pretty.
Did he? Wait, hold on. Did he?
Yeah, he won. Pablo won Mexico.
No. I know he won. I just thought he used the Darkrai Giratina.
No, Darkrai Giratina came in second. He beat it in the finals. It didn't run Garb though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that means the world, dude.
Yeah, exactly. But I still think Greninja's good. I mean, I think you do have to play Megaphones now. Probably 2. I think 2, and you're probably okay. I think the Mulligan thing is a good point, and maybe part of the reason that you do play Octillery, because it just ups your basic count. So, I don't know.
I mean, if you're running hot with Greninja, just run it.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, we all have pretty much the same opinion regarding that. Mega Ray is what some stupid people are talking about. Austin Vance primarily. He's like, all right, with all this Dark and Garbodor and all this running around, can't we just play Mega Ray and beat it all? And in my opinion, no. I still think Night March is going to be a factor, and I think the Night March player is just going to jab and then backhand you in the face.
Just don't hit the bad matchup. It'll be okay.
Yeah, there you go. That's fun.
I mean, it does beat Dark. I mean, he is right. It's more viable than it was before.
Yeah.
More good matchups. Depends how hard people ride the hype train.
Yeah. I still think, like, it's a 50-50 with the Giratina. The Dark Garbodor build from McClure, I don't even know if he played against any Night March all day, but that matchup's somewhat decent. The Baby Evolto does a lot of work. Ending them to like 2 or 3 and then having a Garbodor established is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, from what I've seen, when they have like a Darkrai Fury belted and then end and took a knockout with the Garbodor established, that pretty much ended the game sometimes, because they didn't have Shaman as an out or Ultra Ball. So the following turn they needed to draw a Via Seeker for a Sycamore, because End's not going to do it for him or Judge or anything of that nature. So that's pretty much what I've seen. I'm not going to play Night March ever. So there's that. Do I recommend playing Mega Ray? No, by no means. People still play Parallel City to be cute. So if you want to get backhanded by that, that's fine.
I mean, Mega Ray can usually tech for at least like 1 or 2 of its problems. Like, Mega Ray has multiple problems and it can't tech for everything, but it's like if you want it to be Parallel City, you could play Ninetales. If you want it to be more prepared against Darkrai Giratina, you could put in like Jolteon or something, but you can't beat everything. So if you're like willing to take 1 or 2 losses, it could be something.
Yeah.
That it's not terrible. I mean, I'm not saying I'm going to play Mega Ray. It's the best deck, but it's also not unplayable. I wouldn't be shocked to see it. People always play that.
I mean, Mega Ray does good against Greninja too. How does it do versus Trevenant? I don't think I've ever played that matchup.
I think it's bad, but I'm not sure.
It's 50-50 from what I've seen in Standard.
Yeah.
Like, Mega Ray's really big. Because
He's
Connor was telling us about it. Remember at States he played against Trev a lot
It
with
depends on
Mega
the
Ray.
Trev list.
Yeah, it depends on the Trev list and the Trev
If they
player.
play like Hammers
Not
and
that
Bike
the
Card
Trev
and stuff, I
matters
think
too
it's bad.
When I played against it at States, I played Trevenant, and when I played against it, it really felt like if they went first and got a first turn, like 4 or 5 on the bench, and then established 1 Mega Turbo and a DCE, it was kind of like I either hit my energy denial this turn, or I'm just gonna get overrun with this like real quick.
Yeah.
I think it also beats Water Box too, if you have a Regice counter.
Yeah.
Not from what I've seen. Regice just straight up slaughters that match.
I said if you have a Regice.
What's your Regice counter? What are you playing that to be Regice?
I haven't lost a Skep tile yet.
Escape Pro Flysander, easy.
Oh no, my board there's nothing but a Regice. For some reason I draw broke against Mega Ray, but I can't do the same thing against Darkrai Giratina. The world.
Target whistle.
Oh, that'd actually be really good.
But I mean, it's like you can only fit so much. So I don't know. I wouldn't be shocked if somebody did.
Oh, now you're being realistic.
Mega Ray.
Dylan being realistic out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Doesn't ever happen. This is the first, guys.
Do you remember Dragonite Groudon, Dylan? And
Just open
I
WoW.
said I can't play this with you because if we don't open WoW before we lose, and you're like, just don't open WoW. Like open WoW every game, dude. What are you doing? If
That
you
was
don't
a
open it,
perfect
scoop.
story.
That's the dumbest.
Like, Dylan hitting it every round and me never starting Wob. So, he top eights and I drop
I mean,
out.
if you go second, you could get it into the active position always, and when you go first, you get it like 40% of the time. So that's most of the time.
With Dylan luck. I don't have Dylan luck.
Or just play against Seismic Shaman, then it doesn't matter. They can play as many Shamans as they want.
Okay, we have only like 2 questions left, and that'll help end this long episode. So Lucas Piers asked, with a lot more draw supporters in the deck because N got printed, do you think we'll see a decrease in Trev? Or in general, how about this? Paired with the release of N and the strength of Darkrai Giratina and the hype behind it, do you think we'll see less Trev? Or do you think the Trevs will adapt, go back to their weakness policy, hammer build, and then just keep on trucking on like Trev does? I guess we'll start with Mark.
I think it'll still get played, and I think weakness hammer is a better version. I don't know if it'll do as good. I mean, I don't know. No offense to Aaron, but I have no clue how he won that tournament going through that top 8 with that build of Trevenant where he didn't play policy or hammers. Like, that was just, like, he drew the nuts every round watching him. It was like, Jesus. So, I don't know. I wouldn't play it, but I'm sure people still will.
Yeah. Chris?
Dude, I think people are still going to play it because people are Darrens. But I think it's going to see a decrease in play. Like, I expected to see, again, like 20-30%, but like I feel like that's going to decrease. Close to like 10 to 20% of the field. Since, like, there's now, like, Darkrai and Garb, so, like, if someone just Lysanders and gets, like, out of the item lock one turn, they can establish Garb, and now they have items.
Yeah.
Forever.
You have to start playing, like, silly stuff like multiple megaphones. Or you have to start prioritizing Xerosic in situations you don't want to prioritize Xerosic.
Yep.
That's not fun.
They don't play Sycamore every turn like Aaron did against you.
Yeah. That was nice. Good of him. Bastard. Fouchet?
Yeah, I think it'll see quite a significant decrease. I think I put it at like 15% initially. I think it'll probably drop 10%, maybe even lower. I think you'll still play against one, probably throughout the course of the first day, but beyond that, I don't think so. I still think red card hammers is better. Just lock people out of games. But
Dylan, how about that after your 03 Trev experience at Massachusetts region?
Trevenant is a brutal deck. Sometimes you don't go first. Sometimes you get dunked by Pikachu. Like, things happen. But I don't know. I probably wouldn't play Trev because I had such a bad experience with it. There's a lot of variance, but I also think that it's going to see a decrease in play, but people are still going to play it. I think the Red Card Hammers version is the best, kind of like what everybody else said. But I mean, you can, like, I would play Megaphone against, like, Garb. It's not like they Lysander, establish Garb, and you lose. Like, if you Lysander them and Megaphone them, now they have a Garb that's kind of stuck there. Unless they also draw AZ or whatever, and then you get the spread for free for, like, 3 turns, which is really devastating. So, it could also go the other way.
Deck is childish.
Not a very fun deck to play with her again.
Not at all. It's very frustrating. Alright, is Regirock, Zygarde, Carbink, is that completely useless? Or now with all this dark hype, can we see a rise from the brown cards?
Here's hoping.
Oh yeah, Chris today thought that Carbink Break could attach to any Pokemon. So
Hey,
he threw me ideas.
Joe,
He's like, yo, we can
stop
attach,
it.
We can attach
Shut your mouth.
DDEs. And I was like, why does it sound broken? Does not happen.
You agreed with me for a second.
I did. And then I looked it up, and I was like, all right, I'm going to wait till you figure this out. I looked it up like 2 minutes later. And
I told him on my drive home from work. I got home, took a nap, woke up. I was like, red Carbink. I was like, well, never mind. All that dreaming. I was like, yo, I can attack with Carving Break and attach a Tyrantrum.
Chris is breaking the format.
I know, right?
So, yeah, in our opinion, I still think Zygarde's going to get there. Zygarde Vileplume just won one of the Japanese tournaments, so
Yeah.
explore that. Explore Zygarde Garbodor. And keep taking that savage whipping from Night March. So, yeah, that's never fun. And
Yeah, turn one
Trev. Oh
file.
my god.
Yeah, I really don't think the deck is good.
Yeah. At least not for right now.
If Trev wasn't around, it'd be fine.
It's not like the cards themselves are bad, it's just the metagame that they exist in. So, like, if cards get rotated in the future and stuff, like, these cards might be good, but with Night March and Trav and everything.
Yeah, it's not its time.
Yeah.
On that note, I think that we're not getting. I don't think Phantom Force is rotating.
Hmm.
I think since they announced we're getting Karen, we're definitely gonna see Night March around for another year, and Compressor, which is ugh.
I mean, all you have to do is just carry Quaking Punch, it'll be okay.
Dylan, Quaking Punch, Toad rotates.
Oh no, this is bad.
Oh no.
We'll figure it out.
I still think Karen will be way too much because they don't get the compressors back. So.
Yeah, they got Bob.
Yeah, it's almost better than Trump card for resetting their Pokemon.
Yeah. All right, we actually have one more question. So, I guess going around, what is your safe play for the weekend? And we'll start with Dylan. If you're going to Canadian Nationals and you're Canadian all of a sudden.
Oh man, I don't know.
Stop acting like you don't know.
Yeah, like you don't.
Just tell everyone it's going to be Vespiquen something. You dummy.
I always end up playing Vespiquen, but I honestly don't know. I guess I'd play like Vespiquen or Water Toolbox because those are the decks that I played the most, but I will probably have like a very different opinion after I test a lot for 2 weeks.
Cool. Mark?
Again, I haven't tested much, so I'd either go with Metal because I'm really comfortable with it and I've had like pretty good results, or Straight Dark. I mean, Straight Dark just seems like a super safe play right now.
Okay. With Garb? Or just
With
straight-
that, or
straight
with Maxis, either or. I'd have to, more testing to figure out which version I'd rather play, but
Okay.
some form of Dark seems really safe.
Chris?
Water box. Just I'm so comfortable with it, but I'd just be fearful of the. I'd have to tech for the Garb and the Darkrai matchup because that deck just hits hard.
Yo, people sleep on it, dude. Like, just an hour ago, Twitchy messaged me, how'd you win with that stupid deck? And I was like, it's really good. Have you played it? He's like, no, it just seems stupid. It's bad.
You don't miss
I
Elixir.
was like, you hit turn 2 Grenade Hammer. Or like turn 1 Grenade Hammer. Turn 2 if you're like, playing well.
Fuck, yeah.
You get a Fury Belt Quaking Punch. It's 40. And then next turn, you Grenade Hammer for 140. And your opponent looks at a 220 Toad with the Rough Seas on board. With nothing to do.
It's like the perfect 2-hit combo. You're just like Quaking Punch with a Fury Belt and then a Grenade Hammer. You're like, oh, item lock you for a turn, set you up for a 2-hit KO.
Or you can draw like crap against the Tarbell in the top 4 and have to
Price.
mineral pump twice. 4 times? 4 times.
I thought you were just styling. I thought you were getting cute.
No, I wasn't styling getting cute. My hand was literal butt.
You had like
mineral pumping.
what, like 6 cards left in deck and still 2 Rough Seas, and you didn't
Missed.
one at all.
And
Sycamore and missed.
What was it? 8 cards left in deck, 4
Yeah,
in
it's-
hand, play N. There's 2 Rough Seas. I missed both Rough Seas. For
This was
6.
like
So I
3
was
turns in
oh
a-
my god, this is depressing. So,
Yeah, like 3 turns in a row you did that. It was savage.
yeah, sometimes. With his girl sitting there taking pictures. I didn't mind it. I was just like, this is adding insult to injury. And they posting on purpose. She's like, hey guys, look at top 4. I was like, alright, Fouchet.
I would probably end up sticking with Darkrai Giratina Garb, but my sleeper pick would be Vileplume Vespiquen with Jolteon. I think that seems really strong right now.
That's something
Actually.
Dylan Bryan can get behind.
That's what he
There wanted we to go,
say.
That's a little
Dylan wanted to say that deck, but he just didn't.
Yeah.
If it was me, I'd be playing Darkrai. I'd be playing my Claire's list with my own flashes in it. Darkrai, Yveltal, Garbodor. And then make sure you have outs to Jolteon and Regice. Yeah, you need Regice? No, you have BKT on that. Yeah, so have an out to Jolteon.
Yeah.
What that out is, I don't know. I'm not gonna tell you. You figure that out. Yeah. Those should be all the questions. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this 45 minutes of wasting your time and preparing for your weekend. Does anyone have anything else to say?
Dylan, maybe a long goodbye again, maybe?
Yeah. I know we always say we're gonna do another video next week. Or we're probably gonna do one before nationals, with the same 4 people. If not, we can add like 4 more people to the chat, and there's no pictures, pure audio, and we have like a giant party, or something. Yeah. Good luck this weekend if you guys are playing Canadian nationals. If you see us at US Nationals and don't watch the next video, please say what's up to us. I don't think any of us ever like turn away people who want to say hi. We don't bite. If anything, Chris is like standing up for the little guys because he saw Caleb Gadimer's stuff get stolen this weekend, and that was pretty depressing.
I wish I could have done more, but damn it.
Yeah. Basically, what happened is right when the round started, Chris is a very observant person, and this guy walked into the Pokemon area without a bag and then left with a bag. So Chris started screaming from the tables, "Does everyone have their bag? Because that dude looks super suspect. Check your bags." And he was sitting right next to me, so I know he screamed it because it hurt my ear. And not one person did anything, nor did they move. Then the end of the round came, and someone walks up to me and says, "Hey, did you hear about Caleb?" And I was like, "You've got to be kidding me." And they just show us his phone, and it's like Caleb made a post on Burbank that his stuff got stolen. And then Chris walks over and he's like, "Yo, was it a blue bag?" And Caleb's like, "Yeah." So they had to go talk to the very unhelpful security guards at the event, who told us that there was also 6 other bags taken from upstairs at the YCS tournament, which doesn't surprise me at all because the Yu-Gi-Oh community is used to doing that. So, yeah, my regards go out to Caleb. That kind of sucks. Everyone, please watch your crap. Like, I know we say it, I know this community is really nice, but we have some scumbags moving in here from other card games. If not, they're just inherently bad people. So, yeah. Usually when I play between tournaments, I wrap my bag around my leg.
Force of habit.
Force of habit from Yu-Gi-Oh! Even when we go to the restroom and sit down on the toilet, I have to wrap my bag around my leg because people will sit there and dive underneath the stalls and take your stuff.
That's so wild.
Yeah, it sounds stupid, but I mean, it's not stupid when you get $3,000 with the card stolen from you. So, yeah, sucks. Hopefully that doesn't keep happening in our community, because I think generally what I've seen from Pokemon communities, everyone's better than that. Ironically, the first event this year where someone has like major stuff stolen, right? And it just happens to be the same place as the Yu-Gi-Oh tournament. By someone who we know is not playing in the tournament because we didn't see that guy for the rest of the day nor beforehand. So that was weird. But alright, y'all, have a good weekend, have a good week. I'm probably gonna do the video for the people starting Pokemon competitively deck building within the next hour or so. So take it easy.